All right, there's Travis Konechny talking to the media downstairs. I'll pull that back out here. If he was asked about anything regarding being benched in the third period, we kind of missed that part. Keep us in the loop too, Ty. I see somebody else stepping up right now. That looks like Lucas Sedlak. Only because I don't know where
I was going to say, how do you know?
That's Felix Henson. That's Felix Henson. Okay, that's Felix. Let's hear from the goaltender.
Play for me. I should be able to throw it across the right away. Keep battling and keep work, and I mean, eventually it's going to turn around, and that's the mindset I'm having, and I'm just going to keep playing hard in practice and looking on top of this.
All right, there's Felix Sandstrom. Not one of the critical guys we need to hear from here post-game tonight, but we'll look to hear from John Tortorella. Let's take a time out here on our radio broadcast. Flyers post-game. They go down against the San Jose Sharks 3-0. We're back after this on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.
So, Ty, they're probably going down there right.
Can we get the torch to run through the audio, out of that mixer?
Yes.
Okay. That way, at least the people on the stream will be able to hear it.
Yes.
That should people work. On the stream, I care about you. All right. Flyers fall against the San Jose Sharks. Final score of 3-0 all the scoring in this game comes from San Jose. Eric Carlson opened it up. Who knew that would turn out to be the game winner?
And who knew that we were going to make James Reimer look like James Reimer from 7 years ago? Holy smokes.
I'm telling you, he
Man.
I mean, despite the fact he came in with a 1-3 record, he had 918 save percentage. He was sharp.
He was. I mean,
several good saves.
He was the difference, I think. I mean, I know the Flyers didn't generate a whole lot, but they generated some chances that he made some 10-bell stops on. So, I mean, he's as much of a difference in this game for me as anything.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent in the game and frustrated the Flyers when they did have good opportunities. The only one, that they scored on eventually called back.
Right.
But it seemed like the Flyers had a really hard time in this game getting to the inside because as I looked at the scoring chance heat map, they ended up with a lot of chances inside. But going into that third period, they didn't have many. But they did end up with a good amount. So we talked about this last night, the expected goals in the game.
Mm-hmm.
The Flyers actually had 2.44 to San Jose's 2.43.
And they got 0.00.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So that's goaltending.
So Reimer's here we got John Tortorella.
We're not going to be able to hear the questions at all, I don't think. Yeah.
Tonight's game. We won't see him tomorrow. We'll get a couple.
All right, there's John Tortorella addressing the media. Sorry to the people on the stream. We're having a hard time trying to feed that through. But he didn't. I don't know if we just missed it. Maybe he was asked about those two being benched. Or...
Yeah, I mean, it was, again, we were kind of scrambling there to see if there was a way we could get that out of it. Unfortunately, that press conference happens in an area of the building where right now the Wi-Fi isn't working quite well. So we were trying to get the audio there as quick as we could. Unfortunately, it's not set up to hear the questions. So I don't know if the turnovers answer was in reference to why those two didn't play, or if it was, again, like you said, something we missed. So we'll be sharpening that up down the road. But you can tell, obviously, it was just one of those nights that I think they're going to, they're kind of going to write it off. They're not going to put too much stock in it. Again, you don't get too high after a win, you don't get too low after a loss. Certainly, you have to make sure that you find a way not to repeat stuff like this. But at the same time, they're not going to go too nuts over it, I don't think.
The one thing they did say that we got to figure out how to play two nights in a row.
Yeah.
Because they lose the Florida game, obviously. They got down on that one, and they battled back to get it tied at 2, but ultimately they ended up losing 4-3 with 2 third-period goals by Florida. And then you look at this game, another back-to-back. and they're really on their heels from the jump. The opposition was on a back-to-back too. But
right.
what do they have? 16 or 17 back-to-backs all year. They only had 2 so far.
Yeah. I mean, this is something it's part of the current day NHL, and especially that's I haven't looked at other teams in the other conference, but I think it's the trade-off that you get from being in this particular region of the country where we've got 3 other teams that are within a train ride of here, whereas San Jose's got to fly everywhere and they got to do it a lot. I think the trade-off for the teams in the Metro are the back-to-backs, and so playing on this team in this division, you've got to learn to deal with that. And again, it's one of the things that is going to be kind of reestablished, if you will, for this team under this new coaching staff, under this new regime. So it's it's one of the things that they've got to learn, and it's just a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, they have a back-to-back coming up. They have 3 of them at least in November 1st and 2nd on the road, Rangers in Toronto. Then you've got another one on the 12th, a week later on the 12th and the 13th, Ottawa at home and Dallas at home, Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back. And then you have one later in the month on a Friday, Saturday, that's Black Friday against Pittsburgh, and then Saturday in New York against the Islanders. So, look, you have to figure out how to play in back-to-back games, and you can't go, well, it's a back-to-back, we won the front, or can't control what's going to happen in the second because we played yesterday. No, the opposition doesn't care. Nobody else cares. So you got to figure it out. You got to figure out a way to do it. I mean, this was 4-6. Yeah, that's tough. But hey, look, can't do anything about that. You got to find a way to come out and be better in these situations. So
what is the old adage that nobody's going to feel sorry for you? You're never going to have a team take it easy on you because you're having a bad time of it, or because you've got 10 guys out to injury and all that. Aaron Melendez tweeted that Torts elects to keep his message to Kevin Hayes and Travis Konechny in the room. So apparently that might have been.
It didn't start in the room. It started on the bench in the third period with them just sitting there.
Apparently that was probably the way that it was addressed in the press conference, which might have been right before we hopped in. So
that's the first question.
Kevin Hayes did say, I don't think he was too happy with my game. If I had to guess, I think you guys can ask him. That's one thing he said in his availability. So we're going to see how this shakes out, I guess, over the next few days. Maybe it's just going to go away. I don't know.
No, it's not going to go away.
Well, this particular incident, I mean, if this keeps up, obviously.
Yeah.
But maybe they snap out of it, and then they come back out on Thursday, and they have 3 points each, and we never hear of it again. That's what I mean. It might just it might just be message received, and they move on. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. Some nuts are harder to crack, right? Yeah. Some guys are resistant.
And Kevin Hayes has been through this before. I mean, this is his second go-around with John Tortorella, so he knows, what's out there, and like you said, it's embarrassing. It's
I don't think he played for Torts, did he?
I thought he did, but I could be wrong about that. Was he after it? Okay.
Yeah, that was AV.
So, I have trouble finding that date line there.
He's like, I'm not old enough.
Yeah, but he's aware of it, right?
Yeah,
he knows that he knows he's played with plenty of people that played for him. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, and look, the matchup doesn't get any easier on Thursday. The Florida Panthers coming into town on Thursday night, and then Carolina on Saturday, which wraps up the October schedule. So you're looking at 2 really good teams, and that road trip with the Rangers, Toronto, and then Ottawa to see Claude Giroux.
I think that the Flyers are going to be eager to have another crack at Florida. I feel like that game's going to go well. I think they want another shot at the Panthers, and I think they're going to be angry coming off of this one. I mean, like we were saying before, you don't want to have to sit stew in it for 4 days. But now that you have to, that should give them an edge coming into that game, just in terms of we got to go out there and show that that's not what we're about.
Yeah, and sometimes sitting and stewing in it is not a bad thing.
No.
Sometimes that can be productive. The Florida will be in action on Tuesday night in Chicago. They're starting just a 2-game trip, Chicago on Tuesday, and then here on Thursday. So
it's a bizarre schedule.
Yeah, so the Flyers.
And then they're going home?
And then they're going back home.
How do you come here from anywhere and not play more than one Metro Division game?
Yeah. Then they go back home, take on Ottawa, and then they go all the way out to Arizona.
All righty then.
Yeah. So.
Well, I got a schedule around Arizona State, right?
Good point. I like that. Let's take a timeout. One more last break here on the postgame show as the Flyers are shut out for the first time this season. 2-0 the final score against the San Jose Sharks. We're back after this on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. right, let's go right there. All right, post-game show. Flyers fall to the San Jose Sharks 3-0. They were shut out, I think Tim said 6 or 7 times last year, which is about 9% of the schedule. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, without looking it up, it sounds about right.
Yeah,
too much.
Yeah, too much is right.
Yeah.
They're looking for scoring from different guys and getting it by committee, but there was none to be had tonight. So some point streaks added tonight as well. But we'll see what the status is of James Van Riemsdyk. Maybe we'll get an update on that tomorrow or Tuesday. If tomorrow is indeed an off day, maybe it's one of those CBA days after a trip and a back-to-back.
Yeah, that was the one takeaway I did have from that press conference is he did say we won't see him tomorrow. So
he said he hadn't talked to the doctor yet.
Yeah, so tomorrow's an off day, and then 2 more days to get ready for Florida.
Florida Thursday, Carolina Saturday.
I've already gotten that wrong once.
But James Taylor for Saturday, a little Carolina on my mind, and we'll see if there's any roster call-ups or send-downs or anything like that as well.
The last time we hosted Florida and Carolina back-to-back, I put the Carolina Panthers on the game notes the second game. So I don't like this combination one bit.
Yeah, that'll mess you up for sure.
Yeah, I hate it. I looked at it, I said, oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
Such is life.
The other thing too was, it was about the 13-minute mark of the third period when I noticed that Hayes wasn't out there because they were on the power play.
Yeah.
I go, Lucas Sedlak's on the power play. And I'm going, why is that?
Strange.
Right? I'm going, there's only like 33 seconds left, so maybe they just are rotating. And, at the end of the power play, okay, they haven't been out there in a while, let's get them out there. And they'll take the shift from power play to 5-on-5.
Yeah.
But clearly, that was
not the case.
No. And then we're kind of all talking at the press box area going, well, Hayes hasn't been out there all period. And Big TK hasn't been out there all period. I mean, Lazinski, he got a couple of shifts in the third, but he only played about 10 minutes as well.
Yeah.
So it might be, we may see a guy like Tanner Lazinski get sent down.
Well, we were talking about it the other day. Actually, I guess it was Timmy and Coates talking about it in Nashville. Is that Lazinski's kind of at a point where he's got to show something because his trial period here is running out. I think, especially with the pickup of Lucas Sedlak. That now they've got a better forward, and they can't send him down without putting him back through waivers again. So they might lose him again, and so you would perhaps look to move a guy like Lazinski or something like that before you would look to move him. But that's just it. It's like especially in a situation like that. I know it's the second half back-to-back. Everybody's tired. It's the third period. But when you are down to 9 forwards and you're one of the 9, you better show that you deserve to be one of the 9.
Yeah.
That's your opportunity right there to grab the ball and run with it. And whether he did that to the coach's satisfaction or not, I don't know. But that's going to be not going to be that many more opportunities for him to do that if he hasn't done it already.
When he wasn't benched in the game, and he still saw such a little amount of minutes,
right?
That could be. I know everybody's going to say, "Well, get Tyson Foerster to shut out as a goal scorer." When I checked Fletcher on Flyers Daily, he pushed back on that pretty hard about him being a call up early here.
Yeah, we discussed this the other night. You don't want to interrupt the you want to get down there and get in the rhythm.
Yeah,
and get in a schedule and work on your game. You don't want it to be interrupted by the occasional call up to the NHL to play 10 minutes. That's not helpful to anybody. I could definitely see it being one of the other. If there's, I don't know exactly who we have down there in terms of depth guys that aren't in that particular mold, but you might grab an Elliot Denoyer or something like that before you grab a Tyson Foerster, just for that reason. Yeah, that you're Denoyer and Foerster are there for 2 different reasons. Denoyer is now getting a taste of pro life, and whether he does that there or here, it doesn't probably matter too much. You want Foerster to go down there and learn how to be a pro, and that's letting him stay there for a little bit is probably the most beneficial way to do it.
Yeah, and Denoyer is going to be a guy at the NHL level. It's going to be a check-in type player.
Right.
He's not going to be a high, guy that's there.
We talked about that too. You can't take a guy like Foerster and bring him to the NHL and put him on the 4th line and expect him to develop the way you want him to.
Yeah, it's not a good fit. So, they'll be back in action coming up on Thursday against Florida, Saturday against Carolina. and it'll be an interesting couple of days between the games, or between now and that Florida game. We'll see what else kind of breaks. We'll get updates on JVR and maybe any other roster moves that they may make here in this coming week. So it should be an interesting one. So let's wrap things up. The day started out good. The Phillies punching that ticket here at the Wells Fargo Center just didn't end the same way it started, unfortunately.
If I had to pick one or the other today, I'll give that to them today.
Yeah, they get the day.
Yeah, they get the day, and now we'll move on with making sure the hockey team gets some more wins. But still, I mean, I tell you, if we're right here right now, and we're saying 4-2 after 6 games.
Yeah, I would sign that contract immediately, if not sooner.
We would be happy with it.
Absolutely.
So again, it's about moving forward. It was not a good night, but moving forward and avoiding losing 2 in a row and keep building.
Yep, and get back at it on Thursday. A couple of good days of practice as well. Let's thank a few people before we get out of here. Let's start with our in-studio engineer. How about Tyler Zulli, twisting the knobs to perfection in this one. Dan Fritz on highlights. Amanda and our crew here at the East Food Hall. Betsy Deming, our on-site engineer. Tim Saunders, Steve Coates, Brian Smith as well. I'm Jason Myrtetus. You've been listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey, a 3-0 loss against the San Jose Sharks on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody.
All right, Tyler. Thanks, sir.